Hi everyone, welcome to another session of this mini revision series of ancient history. In previous class, we have completed studying about Mahajanpadas and the Magadhan Empire. In today's class, we will be studying how the Magadhan Empire was taken over by the Mauryan kings. So the important kings of the Mauryan dynasty are Chandragupta Maurya, Bindusara and Ashoka as mentioned here. However, when you look at the questions in the previous prelims question papers, you will notice that there are many questions regarding Ashoka. Even from the topic of Ashoka, only the inscriptions are being focused. So it becomes important for us as UPSC aspirants to study about the targeted topics like these. So now in this today's class, we will be studying about Ashoka's inscriptions, and after studying about the Ashoka's inscriptions that are rock edicts and pillars, then we will move on to know how the Magadhan Empire was taken over by the Chandragupta Maurya, and we will know the detailings about these three kings, that is Chandragupta Maurya, Bindusara and Ashoka. So today's class will be about Ashoka's inscriptions. So Ashoka's inscriptions are divided into rock edicts, special rock edicts and pillars. These rock edicts and pillars can again be divided into major and minor. So the language in these inscriptions varies from region to region. In Indian subcontinent, it is Prakriti and Brahmi script which was found on the inscriptions. In Northeast India, it was Aromatic and Kharosti script or Kharosti. It's not and, it's or. Aromatic or Kharosti script. In Afghanistan, there is Aromatic or Greek scripts were found on the inscriptions. Let's know the geography of these places. Indian subcontinent is nothing but the Kashmir to Kanyakumari region of today's Indian subcontinent only. When it comes to northwest frontier, it can be said as Pakistan of today and Punjab. Punjab and Pakistan regions of today can be considered as northwest of ancient history. Gandhara is today's Afghanistan. So that's about the geography of these places which are mentioned. So these are the facts that you have to remember in prelims point of view. So the first Ashokan inscription was found by Firoz Shah Tughlaq in Meerut when he was ruling in 1300s. But however, it was depicted only in 1837 only. So it took at least 500 years to decode the language that is in inscriptions. This inscription or this pillar which was found was praising the Samudragupta by his court poet Harisena. So the detailings about the inscription are like this. It is about Samudragupta. I am repeating it because these are the main important facts that you have to remember in prelims point of view. Again, another fact. James Prinsep was the first person who have decoded this Ashoka's edicts in 1837. Let's move on knowing more about rock edicts of Ashoka's inscriptions. The content of rock edicts can be majorly classified into career of Ashoka, internal and external policies of Ashoka, Ashokan's empire and Dhammas. Here Dhamma meaning Dharma. So it is nothing but Dharma in Sanskrit and Dhamma in Prakriti. So there is no difference between the words Dharma and Dhamma. However, the languages are different, that's all. Dhamma is in Prakriti, Sanskrit it is Dharma. So here Dharma, like Dhamma, Buddha Dhamma were propagated by the Ashoka because Ashoka was a Buddhist. He propagated the Dhammas or the Sutras or we can say principles of Buddhists through his inscriptions. The inscriptions of Ashokas were explaining about these Dhammas. So the numberings will be like this. In today's class, I am going to give you some tricks to remember these points because it is totally a class of facts. However, it is very important for us to remember. So I will be giving you tricks to remember these things. To remember these Dhammas, in which numberings there are there, in the Ashokan inscriptions. So remember it like this. 3 to 5 is the first thing that you have to remember. Odd numbers. 3 and 5 are odd numbers. So remember like this. Dhammas starts with 3 to 5. So 3 plus 5 is 8 again. So it 3 to 5 and 8 to 11. 8 plus 3 is 11 again. So 3 to 5, 8 to 11 are Dhammas in 14 major rock edicts of Ashoka. I have said you that rock edicts are divided into major and minor. So there are totally 14 major rock edicts of Ashokan's inscriptions. In this 14, 7 are already Dhammas. As you can see here, 3 to 5 is 3, 4, 5 and then 8 to 11. 8, 9, 10, 11. So 7 are Dhammas. 3 to 5, 8 to 11. Please remember this trick of adding 3 plus 5, 8, 8 plus 3, 11. I am repeating this for your remembrance only. Again. So there are again we are left with 7 rock edicts. If to remember this rock edicts, again I will give you a small trick. Remember these words and this small story that I am going to give. This story will be illogical, however, it will help you to remember the content. So the first important word that you have to remember is animal. Animals and humans were prevailing in Ashoka's kingdom. And these humans have neighbors and these neighbors are from South India and Greek. Next, Ashoka was concerned about these people and animals' welfare. Because he was concerned with the welfare of these people, he requested the tolerance for all religions. He knew that if all the religions are at one place and if they fight, there will be no peace. As he is concerned for their welfare only, he requested for the tolerance of all religions. And next, he directed the tolerance among different religious sects. See, he directed tolerance. That means in first place he requested for the tolerance and in next place he directed the principles for the tolerance. First is request, then he directed for the tolerance. However, as he imagined only, there was war between the religions. So the next word that you have to remember is war. All this story is set in the inscriptions. Now I'll again repeat it. The words that you have to remember are animals and humans are there in Ashoka's region. The neighbors for the humans were South Indians and Greeks. He was concerned about the welfare of people. So he requested for the tolerance of all religions. Then he directed for the tolerance of religions. But there was no tolerance. There was war happening. And all the story was described in the inscriptions. Now we will read out all the inscriptions and connect it with the story that I have said you. In the first place, I have said you to remember the animal. So first rock edict is animal, prohibits animal slaughter. In second case, I have said you to remember humans as a main word. So care for animals and humans, mentions about neighbors, Sangam kingdom, Chola, Pandya, Satyapura and Keralaputra kingdoms of South India. This was another major word that I said you to remember. And mention about Greek king was also there in the second rock edict. Then you have to remember this story in the same sequence only. Then only you will be easily, at least you will be able to strike off the options if you ever get in a match the following or any of the things like that in prelims questions. So next thing is in 6. See, 3 to 5 I have just marked in red because this is Dhammas, as I have said before only. Again, the next one you have to remember is welfare. He is concerned about welfare, I have said. See, welfare measures and king's desire to know welfare of the people is the content in the 6th major rock edict. 7th was request to tolerance for all religions. 8 to 11 are again about Dhammas. In 12th, you will see directed and determined request for tolerance among different religious sects. In 13th, largest part of inscription. This is a matter of fact that you have to remember. That is, 13th one is the largest part of the inscription. It describes Kalinga war. War is the word that I have said you to remember in the story. And Ashoka's concern about provinces also says that he, in between Takshashila to Kalinga and Ujjain, Ashoka introduced the rotation of the offices. This is related to administration of the Mauryan kingdom. I will explain it in you further classes. So 14th one describes engraving of inscriptions in different parts of the country. So how these inscriptions are engraved is described in this 14th part of the inscription. I think it is clear. So that's about today's class. Please give me the feedback whether if I have to give you such tricks to remember, or it is like even more clumsy for you. It will be only in line with your comments only. If you tell me to continue, I will be giving you more and more tricks like this for you to remember. It will help you only, I think, because it helps me a lot to remember a lot of facts. And one more thing I have to tell you is there are a lot of such facts in our Vysh test series. So please get the Vysh test series. If you want to get the Vysh test series, as mentioned in the previous class also, please message to this WhatsApp number, that is 7200681675, and please go listen to all playlists that are available in Vysh IAS channel. It is for your benefit only. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for listening till now.